president of Newfoundland and Labrador Sailing Association, and I happen to be one of the head coaches of the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club Race Team. Becky is the other head coach, and then Tana is holding the camera right now as the manager. The format that we've taken for this group has shifted a couple times over the last few years, and one of the main reasons that we stood this up was essentially to support the sailing school. So Matt, who's the sailing school manager in the back, can only offer so many levels during the Monday to Friday kind of 9 to 5 camp. Can sail 1 through 4 is kind of where it tops out, and then after that things get a little bit tricky. So we stood up the race team to help sailors get ready to go to Canada Games or to other regattas, but also to create a training pool of people who are aspiring to become coaches and to get the levels that they can't get here during the week. So that's the model that we've been playing with the last couple of years. One of the things that we've kind of struggled with a little bit is essentially to grow the fleet. So over the years we've had a strong Canada Games team that kind of came, went, and then left us with a few poor athletes left by themselves. We had Jesse, who essentially trained for Canada Games by himself for the majority of his ramp up. Livy is kind of doing the same thing now. Poor old Darcy came down last year a couple times looking to sail a 420 and no one else showed up. So we've had this weird thing where when people show up, they legitimately seem to have fun and they come back, but creating a fleet that's big enough to kind of support the group has been a challenge. So the format that we're going to use this year is actually a direct poach from my powerlifting group and the way that we've organized. So what we've done, I'm part of a community-based group. It's coached by a world champion, 2 world champions actually. But it's designed so that the athletes can take ownership of the way that they train, and the coach comes down essentially once or twice a week just to make sure that we're on the right path. What we'd like to do this year with the race team is a similar model, and that we're going to have a formal practice on Sundays, no different than we've done in any other year, but we're also going to look for opportunities to get on the water Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the week in kind of a drop-in self-organized structure. So the idea being is that me, the 36-year-old with a job, and the 20-something-year-old going to med school, so we're not the bottleneck on getting people on the water. We can't afford to cancel Tuesday practices because I had a meeting or Becky had to do rounds or whatever the case may be. So we need to figure out a way so essentially the older people on the race team can figure out how to, get people on the water on a Tuesday and on Thursday and be productive, and then have us come in on Sundays to kind of put a little bit more structure to it. So that's kind of the idea that we're going with, is that I think that we can help steer athletes kind of towards performance with 1 to 2 sessions a week. I'm not saying that I will never come down on Tuesdays, but it can be tricky. So the idea is that we will race on Sundays with a whole lot of coaching. On Tuesdays, this group will self-organize to go do buoy drills out in the bay, where you can work on tacking and jibing and starting and all those things that we really need a small kind of set of buoys to train on. And then on Thursdays or Fridays, and I think Friday might actually be the winner for this one, we're going to do essentially an adventure sail or a wreck sail. So the idea will be that this same group just goes sailing for the fun of it. And the idea behind that is that we can't learn how to sail fast going around buoys. So we need to create a structure for this group that allows you to figure out kind of, sail trim while sailing in a straight line for 5 minutes as opposed to tacking every 30 seconds, or learning how to watch the water for waves and shifts and all those kinds of things. So essentially the idea is that we deal with short track buoy stuff on Tuesdays, recreational sailing on Thursdays or Fridays, just to play around and have some fun, and then a dedicated race team practice with a little bit more structure on Sundays. So again, the idea is that we are creating a club essentially where this group runs itself Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, whatever the case may be, and then on Sundays we come down and do the more formal thing. The way that we want to organize this is going to be through Facebook groups, a closed group. So we've been trying email. It hasn't really been working as far as meeting everyone. So we're going to set up, actually Tana already has set up a closed Facebook group. The idea being that you will pay a subscription, or essentially a club membership, on a month-to-month basis to opt in or out of this program. If you decide to opt in, we add you to the group, and from there we self-organize from within. Now we're going to keep the rules for this group relatively strict. and that it's going to be an open group. You know, opinions will be welcomed. No memes, no spam, no ads, no nothing like that. This group will be designed specifically to organize getting people on the water, and that's it. So it'll essentially be a productivity tool for our purposes. So that's essentially the gist. Is we'll get you on the water 3, maybe 4 times a week. Sometimes it'll be run by you. Sometimes it'll be run by us. But at the end of the day, I think that if we can get the 20-year-olds on the same racetrack as the teenagers, and hopefully going back down into the same school and pulling some Opti sailors up, that we can create a bigger group that can support itself better than us just focusing on Opti sailors or just focusing on 29er sailors or whatever the case may be. If we're good at this, and if we really, really grow, we can look at specializing the Sunday practices a little bit more and having a laser fleet that does its own thing and a 29er fleet that does its own thing, and so on and so forth. But before we can get there, I need this fleet to be big enough on Sundays to support that so that I can staff it accordingly. Costing structure, I'm sure that will, it's on everyone's mind. So we've decided to go with a flat rate per month. And the amount that you pay will be based on A, do you own a boat? Are you part of the sailing school? Are you just part of the race team? So to a degree, it's kind of choose your own adventure. So if you don't have a boat, it'll be $125 a month. So that essentially helps cover our small wages. We make like $60 a Sunday or something like that. I don't remember what it is. I think I pay off my instructor fees by like October. So we need to pay ourselves a small amount. We need to cover our coach boat operations. We need to cover fuel. So $125 a month essentially for a drop-in center. That's not bad at all. If you do have your own boat, then we'll look to you to pay $100 a month with the ask that you would then join the RNYC as a dinghy member. I don't remember what the cost is off the top of my head. $150. So the idea being is that if you pay the $100 a month and you join as a dinghy member, you will actually break even on this model by August, I think. So if you
the dinghy membership is only one time.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. There will be people that want to drop in. We have Carolyn who wants to come down every once in a while, and we'll ask for $25 a month from her just to pop down and help put half a tank of gas in the coach boat. These are the exceptions. But for this group, it'll essentially be $100 a month if you have your own boat, and $125 a month if you need to charter. So pretty easy. If you have summer vacation in August and you need to take off for a month, that's fine. You know, you can opt in and out kind of once a month, at the end of every month, and all of the monies will end up going through TANA. So in our old model, TANA used to have to try to collect $20 every single Sunday from random parents that had other things to do. So by just doing an e-transfer to TANA once a month to opt in or out, that makes life a whole lot easier for everyone, and that also gives us a more predictable revenue stream so that we know if we can actually afford to put gas in the boat this week or pay ourselves. So that's essentially the model. I probably should have led in with this. It's open to literally anyone. I don't care what the sailing skill is, I don't care what class they're interested in sailing in, that part doesn't matter to me. So we can have a 50-year-old, we can have a 7-year-old, that part is, completely up to us to recruit the people into the fleet that we want to see. I can't take everyone. Becky and I can't afford to lose our entire coaching session to focus on one can sail one kid that wants to come try it out. That gets a little bit tricky, but we'll do our best to accommodate everyone who shows up. And I think we did say can sail too. Yeah. So that's the model. Any questions?